wasn't able to be here, but Leila Lyman, Mary Stout, and Jennifer Chalk, who's here with us.
At the high school, he let me know I was going to do this, but we do have Miss Franklin, Miss Pennington, Miss Griggs, and Miss Goodman. Where did she go?
I think she's still on the kitchen.
Good deal. And there were a couple others I don't have that weren't here that I know that one left our school district, but really proud of these people.
It's pretty good for being here 4 days.
Yeah, I got their last names right.
Yeah. So, and you know, again, we're very proud of them, and we're very appreciative of y'all who showed up tonight. And I know it wasn't much for you, but we just wanted to say say thank you with the dinner. And Miss Goodman and her kids always do such a great job. That makes us really proud for them to be able to kind of show off for everybody. And so it makes it a good night. So thank you all. Consent agenda.
All right, can I get approval for the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
I'll second. Natalie, all in favor?
And for the superintendent's report, I kind of farmed it out a little bit. Hey, thank you all. Yeah, I appreciate it. I get out here while I can too. And so I kind of farmed it out a little bit. Ben's first going to give an update on the 4-day review and the timeline that we had talked about a little bit, just to keep the board up to date on where we're at on things. So
before I do that, I wanted to say thank you to CS Bank for sponsoring tonight's meal. Mrs. Goodman's class for the transitions class for cooking it, and today's bank also for donating some dessert. So the 4-day school week in the summer, which we're not finished with summer yet, so we're not finished with this. We're collecting data for the student achievement data, the state testing, local assessment data, report cards. We're collecting data for attendance and enrollment for teachers and students, then financial impacts as well for substitute costs, transportation, utilities, and enrollment, and some of the ideas that were presented a couple weeks ago as well. In September, that's when we're going to present the data to the board. We're going to present the data to a town hall or informational meeting here on September 19th or 18th. We don't have a football game that Friday night, so people want something to do, come here for the informational meeting. Then we set one up for the following week in St. Paul, then we'll go to Clifty that Thursday. We're going to send out, right now, the plan is to send out a Google form to the staff at the beginning of September to get their feedback, and a postcard to each family to get their feedback as well. And they can turn that back into any school office or a central office. And that will be in September. Then in October, we're going to present the data for the survey to you all. And that's, and I've reached out to the governor, the commissioner, our 2 state senators, our representative as well, to gather their input. So we'll present that to you in October. Then that's where we have down, the board will make a decision on that day, either to table or yay or nay. Any questions about our schedule?
thank you, Ben. Now, I promise she didn't draw this short straw. She's just a good lady. And I asked her if she would come talk, which she didn't blink an eye. She said, sure, Jay, I will. So, you know, Natasha is next, and she's going to talk a little bit about federal funds and just break some bad news. So,
What an introduction.
yeah, sorry. I tried to set them up so you know.
Yeah. So last year, within our federal funding and state categorical, which are the all of the funds that I manage, so that includes all of our title funds, that includes our ESA funding, migrant funding, ALE, like all of those things. So last year altogether, we lost right at $189,000 in funding compared to the previous year, so compared to school year 25. And so then this year, we just got our allocations for federal funds a couple of weeks ago, and we're losing again this year, $125,000. We're not losing any in state categorical this year, thankfully. We actually got a little bit more in ESA this year because of numbers and because Jill refiled for our CEP. And since those numbers were a little bit better, then that helped us out. But the majority of the funding that we're losing is Title I. And so what that's gonna mean, so that's 2 years that we have lost a significant portion of our Title I funding. And we talked a little bit about it last year, but just to kind of refresh everybody's memory. So apparently our census numbers are showing that our county is getting wealthier. But when we look at our student population, our free and reduced lunch numbers are going up all the time, so our students are getting poorer. And so we're just like in this funny place, and we've had a lot of discussions around the office and like even at the state level, I've talked to different people, we're trying to figure out like, how is this happening? And the best that I can figure out, and this is just, a guess, is that, we do have a lot of new housing in the county between Hinesville and Huntsville. And there's new houses popping up everywhere, but there's, concentrated groups of, subdivisions and things in Hinesville and Huntsville that are being built. And so with newer houses, your price point is often not where, young families with young children are able to purchase. And so I'm thinking that, maybe families with older children or empty nesters are purchasing these homes, or we have families that are coming in and they're choosing to take their children elsewhere or homeschool. So I think that's what's raising our census. Our census is showing that we're getting wealthier as a county, but we're just not seeing that transfer into our schools. And keep things, going. So that being said, we're not to the point that we're cutting any title positions or anything right now, but we're not gonna have material and supply money in title funds this year. And so, that does put our schools, in a bit of a pinch because they're used to having a pretty good chunk of money there that, where they can buy supplies, they can buy supplemental curriculum and all those kinds of things. So we're trying to be really creative with our funding. Very careful, we've all talked together as an admin team about how can we save money, are there things that we can cut that aren't absolutely necessary that give us a little bit more breathing room within that title budget, but that's what we're working on this fall is, just revamping all of those budgets.
Well, and I had noticed when we got our packet that it said our ending balance for Title I was big, but is that because don't we get those funds in like October?
So, is it showing negative? Yeah. So, all of your title funds are reimbursement funds. And so they work differently than all of our other state funds, categorical funds, all of those. All those other funds, we get the money in and then we spend it, just like you do with your home budget. But with title funds and like our SPED funds, all of that's reimbursement. And so we actually spend money when there's no money in there. And then each month they do a draw and it shows we spent X amount of dollars and then they cut us a check for exactly that amount.
Okay.
And so, and then that's true for I think some of your pre-K funds as well, is that correct? So you'll see a lot of those funds will show that we're accruing that because we know that we're gonna get checks for that money, like that, the money was there in the budget. Now, there's a little bit of leeway in the summer, Tina will have to help me, but we don't get, is it 2 months that we don't get a check in the summer? And so that just gives us time to clean everything up. If we do any kind of, moving expenditures around from one budget to another, transferring funds or anything like that, then, and then they'll do that draw in September. And so then we'll get that check, I think it's about 2 weeks, isn't it, from the time they do the draw. And then that cleans up, tidies everything up from over summer and then like our payroll and all that we're just doing for August.
Thank you. So that puts it in October, because that, for some reason in my head, I thought that's usually when we have.
Yeah, I think it's around the 1st of October, because I think it's the second Saturday of the month that they do the draw.
And that kind of relates to action item B, that carryover from last year. You always keep that surplus to begin the next school year with. You don't turn around and put it in the building fund right away because then you wouldn't have the money to start the next year, if that makes sense.
So what are title positions that we would have to, if we continue on this trend of losing money?
So we have several Title I aides. We pay for our distance learning teacher or I don't know if that's how we have her title, but Belinda Stafford's position is, she covers all like concurrent credit, virtual education and all of that. We pay for the distance learning lab ladies that work. We have one in St. Paul, one at Huntsville High School. I think we pay half of their salaries each. And then we have our instructional facilitators. So all of those people are paid with title funds. And we have a lot more paid out of ESA. Title I and ESA are the two largest funds that I deal with, and so there's a lot of juggling over the years, between those two, like what fits better here or there. And so, we've been able to make everything work, but it's just like looking into the future, what's gonna happen next year. If we got cut 100,000 last year, 100,000 again this year, what are we gonna see next year? And at that point, what's our course of action?
Any other questions? Okay, and now some good news, all right? So we got notified by the Department of Ed, and so there's Jill. Jill's here, so anyway, and I'll do the talking, Jill. So anyway, don't want to put you on the spot. But so we got notified, so there's two categories, a severe need breakfast and a safety net lunch funding. Both of them are funds. So we got notified that for breakfast, they added additional 51 cents per meal. So that took, for our reimbursement, the meals from $2.54 each to $3.05 each. So that's what we get back. And just to give you an idea, an average cost of when you can put in labor and everything, usually a breakfast costs the district about $3. So, we're making a nickel per breakfast there, okay? So that's good news. Well, for lunch, it went up 2 cents. It went from $4.45 to $4.47, and usually the average is around $5. So, but it's good news. Anytime they increase it and increase our reimbursement, I'm not going to complain or gripe about it. So that's good news to get within the last 2 weeks. So, okay, and I think that was it for the superintendent's report. All that I had in my notes. So I guess we can go to the finance report. If anybody has any questions, so.
I had a question on the page 2, where it has A/P, that's AP classes, advanced placement money. Is that what that is?
Page 2.
What's that?
It's like about, 2271.
One down,
Yeah.
page 2.
Where it's 17,000, okay, so,
What's just to make sure, because Tina knows the codes real good.
There's a lot of codes to know here.
yeah.
Hold on, because let me see.
Well, it's right there by the Aegis and
Yeah.
ALE, so I'm thinking, is that advanced placement money?
Without me going in and
Okay.
looking to see where this money came from, I couldn't intelligently tell you on the spot, honestly, but I can definitely let you know,
Okay.
if that's what that is.
I would tend to think it is because it's right next to the GT. So anyway, but I don't know for sure either, Connie. I
Okay,
can check. So.
all right,
But you want me to email you? I
Yeah.
can email you tomorrow.
thank you.
Good question though.
Well, because if it is, I'm thinking, what are we gonna use that for?
And I'll let you know what we've spent it on in the
Okay,
past.
well, in the
How we spent
past,
it.
what I'm wondering is it like I remember Miss Dotson, her scores would be really high, so we'd get extra money for that, and then we could spend it on supplies. And if they're not gonna be Title I funds for science equipment and science consumables, then maybe some of it could come from there.
Sure.
I don't know, anything about that, Liz? No. Well, you do know something?
Well, I mean,
You don't know if that's what that's,
so students who scored 3, 4, or 5,
right.
there is money kicked back to the school for,
Yeah, but that would be including also the
and then we use that.
English and
And
math, so,
we typically use that money to supply those AP
yeah,
with what they need, their
Yeah.
curriculum or.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So I was just thinking that could be a source of, if it's getting cut.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to look into it, Connie, to make sure it's not restrictive, like, and it can only be for AP, you know what I mean?
Well, it
So-
may be only like part of it, whatever science got, whatever English got, whatever math got.
Yeah.
So.
There's no other questions, I'll take a motion to approve the financial report. Motion by Bobby, second by Nick, all in favor?
Action items. A, student handbooks for approval, so. I think we had the the principals who made changes or theirs are here, correct? So, if there's any questions about them.
Did we just, remember I said we should just match, make sure that we don't have like a worse punishment for middle school than we did for high school did we make sure those things matched?
I actually don't know that I don't think we did talk to the high school.
Well, we can approve it and then
Well,
change it, right?
yeah, unless y'all wanna table it for later. It's up to y'all, so.
I'd personally like to table it to the check to make sure that they're on the same page. It's like, this is what we're doing if your phone's out, this is what, like if you're getting
Sure.
ISS the first time at middle school, but you're like, oh, you get it taken away, just make sure it's all the same, so it's not, 'cause people get really mad if they have one kid at middle school and one kid at high school and they don't get the same punishment for the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable, Connie.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we'll just have to, because we'll have to include St. Paul also, because if we're talking secondary, so that way if we're all gonna be on the same page about that, then, then it's okay to table it. Here's what I'm saying, because we'll have to get back, because if there are differences, then you guys will have to get with your committee and iron that out to where we're the same across the board. Okay?
Well, I think St. Paul's high school and elementary, they match. Do they have to match the same as us? If they are happy there and they're doing the same thing?
I mean, it should be pretty district-wide.
Oh, okay.
Most of ours is procedures. Most of our changes are procedures. And of course, those graduation requirements that are all changing, but it's like keeping doors locked and, dropping off food and attendance agreement if they miss so many days. It's not necessarily steps on what's gonna happen as far as discipline in ours.
I think there were a little bit of change for you guys, and I'm just saying to make sure they match.
It was our changes were on like excessive detentions and we did adjust that and so we can definitely get together and
So like it's a.
I just think it's saves a problem down the road where somebody says, well, my kid did this at middle school, that's all they got.
Yeah.
Or they-
It makes sense, Connie. So, yeah, we need a motion to table then.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, look at-
I'll second it. Motion
There
first,
you
second,
All in
whatever.
favor?
Okay, then we'll get that and then come back next month.
Jay, one thing to keep in mind is we are required by law to have those posted by September.
Can you
How
do it?
fast can y'all get together?
I can get whenever he can, it's good with me. One thing I did have a kind of a question about, I'm not sure if a student gets in a fight, I'm not sure that ours matches theirs.
I know it doesn't.
And I wonder,
Is it appropriate?
I wonder if there should be some differences for age, like taking age into accountability, but
An 11-year-old versus an 18-year-old in terms of consequences.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It's a fight.
Up for discussion.
Well,
Somebody.
You talking about an 11-year-old fighting an 18-year-old, or should the punishment be different because of their ages?
Punishment
Right.
different. because
Fight's a
of
fight.
ages.
Yeah, that's what
If you're
I
gonna
say.
punish them for fighting, punish them for fighting.
And I think the sooner you punish them for that, then maybe we won't have fights and they get to
By
high
the time
school.
they get to high school, they say, oh, I got in real big trouble for that in junior high, I'm not gonna do that no more.
Not very much. Not very much at all.
Oops, no, that should-
2 weeks today.
And then have time to upload it.
well, unless, it's just an idea, unless 4 of y'all could at least come and we have a called board meeting and approve them. That's an idea, I mean, but that's up to y'all. Think we could maybe
Whatever we
get
need
4
to do.
together to be available to,
As long as ain't a junior high volleyball game, man, I can make it.
I wouldn't put your eggs in my basket, just because.
As long as it's before the 1st of September, I'll be
Okay.
good.
so how about this, we could go ahead and table it, and then we'll have plan on a called board meeting. And we'll get it done and get them ready for y'all by that time, okay? Does that sound good? Before September 1st, so. I know it's Russian, but we'll get it, so, okay. Did we have a motion?
Yeah, they,
We are tabling.
Connie
Okay.
made a motion,
We-
Natalie
Natalie seconded.
seconded.
Okay. That sound good? And I'll get with y'all and we'll get on it. Item B is just what we had talked about. It's just approval from the board for the net legal balance exceeding 20% to transfer to the building fund. That's general everywhere I've been, so.
Are you gonna put any in like another, like, money market account or CD or anything?
Well, we're gonna have to look, cause like, we're still paying out for last year.
Okay.
And waiting to see where it falls out, but it's getting a lot closer because I've told Tina, I've got a time crunch where I've gotta get those numbers and start projecting the budget for this year, so. We're still working with the numbers a little bit, but, and then we'll see where we're gonna place stuff from there, but.
I just like being, if we can make our money grow instead of just sitting.
Yeah. Well, and I will say this, I said this today, we did pretty good last year, so anyway.
But wasn't that, you said something about building fund, that once it goes in there, it can only be,
Believe it or not, it's kind of restricted, like,
Yeah.
for instance, for some weird reason, you can't buy school buses out of your building fund. And remember, your building fund's just your savings account, basically, I don't know why they called it a building fund, anyway. And you can't do that, and so that really messes up some things, and so with us having 26 buses, I've told Harry, we need to really think about having a replacement plan each year, at least 2. And to keep that rotation going, not getting a bind about something, because buses are very expensive, I know y'all know that. So, anyway, that'll be when I'm talking about where the numbers fall, is keeping that in mind, keeping out some for that, and then deciding where we're gonna place, are we putting some just in the building fund? Are we gonna do like a contingency, where all that's gonna lay out, so. But
So-
we did good.
okay, so tell me exactly what this means that we're voting on then, cause I'm looking at that, well, if you're putting 20% over, exceeded 20%, and now it's gonna be, we can only spend it on X, and we're thinking we're getting less funds, so yeah, so explain this to me exactly.
By law, anything that you have over 20%, you have to put into the building fund.
Oh, okay.
That's basically it.
Okay.
Kinda, yeah, and the way they word it, it's like,
Okay.
anyway.
So,
Okay.
but the less than 20%, you can move to wherever you need to move it to.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You have the option of where you're gonna place it.
All right, can I get a motion to approve? Nick? Natalie, all in favor?
Thank you all. Next one is,
So like we said before, we have 19 merit paid teachers from last school year. The previous year, we had 7. So 91% of our grade levels improved the numbers of students who were proficient in math last year. 82% improved the students who were proficient in ELA, and 75% of our grade levels improved the number of students who were proficient in reading.
So we also looked at, on that second slide, at cohorts. So cohorts meaning tracking kids, from last year, the year before last, till this spring. And, the cohorts of students are improving, they're improving. So we're excited about that. 75%, of our student cohorts increase in proficiency in math. 80% of our cohorts increased in ELA, and 80% of our cohorts increase in the number of proficient students in science.
And then 71% of our cohorts increased the number of students reading and reading. And so that's very exciting that not only are our subjects increasing, but also our student cohorts, as we track them over time, are improving as well. So we're excited about that. Any questions?
And
Members?
when will we, when will we have the, how many more were proficient and how many more were, you know, in each of these? As far as like, well, I guess I'm really asking, when are we gonna get the grades?
Oh, all right, so what was the last date we heard?
September.
Yeah,
That's a lot, 30 days, above a month.
Yes.
That's a
No,
big span.
but there's good news with that, Connie. So I found it today. I called Hope Worsham, so I called down to the department and asked a simple question. Who do I need to talk to about how long our extra help, the new teacher project, is gonna be supplied to us, and when do we start having to pay for it? Well, if you've ever called down there. So 2 days later, I got an email saying that they were gonna pay for it, the department was, until our letter grades came out. Now, they said September also, they didn't give me exact date. But it's great having Ashley, because Ashley has some experience. So, you know, depending on how high those go up, and depending upon the letter, Ashley said at West Fork, and I hate to speak for her, they provided you someone, right? Even when you raised it from an F to a C, correct?
They provide someone for D and F schools, and then when we went to a C, they provided someone just less time. So more like 25% of the time, so it ended up being 1 day a week, but we use that 1 day a week. So
So that was real good news. So anyway, but we're excited about getting the grades, but also there's how much free help do you get once you know what I mean, get the grades up there. So it's kind of, but it's that's a positive thing. That's good.
Yeah.
So.
Good problem.
Well, you did better than me. I asked her a question. She told me she'd answer it like the next day. I've never heard. So you did better than me.
Well, I just happen to have a connection and got a cell phone number, and so I don't think
Cheat code.
certain people like you calling their cell phones. But they did call me back, and I was Dr. Sutton. I don't know where that came from, but anyway. Okay. All right. So.
All right, so we need to go to executive session for staff disciplinary. Jay. New business?
None, ma'am.
Are we doing reports or like is Bailey giving a report or anything? No? Oh, I want to say, once again, the high school looks fabulous out front. The elementaries look great where all the trees got cleaned up. Thank you so much to Steve Nelson and his crew. The bus drivers, it was a safety issue too. The bus drivers, I've heard.
New grass on the playground at intermediate, going as best as I can.
Yeah. My favorite comments of rain.
Thank you for that comment. Good.
And at the open house for middle school, they reintroduced the accelerated reader program there. At least in 8th grade's doing it. I don't know, are all the grades doing it? Or did they leave? Oh, there they are. You moved. So, and that is fabulous. I'm so excited, and I hope parents will support this, that we brought it back. When the middle school was in the top of the state in middle schools is when we were doing AR and we were doing the reading, and as we saw, our least improvements have been in reading. So I'm super excited about that. One more thing. This is for my fellow teachers. I want to definitely congratulate all the merit pay teachers. But I also want to say thank you to all of our other teachers at this time who gave their hearts and souls to their kids this last year. I know they don't want the people not to get the money, but I know that sometimes it can be very disheartening. This last year I had the privilege of teaching 136 graders science, and at a school where it's mostly the majority English as a second language. The number of my proficient and advanced students more than doubled. My bottom quartile, that's your lowest performing students, 78% of them showed growth from 5th grade. I couldn't ask any more of my kids. I was so proud of them, and I am not a merit pay teacher. But I will tell you, I am a teacher of merit. And what I want to say to all the other teachers is that I will continue to encourage. We've already talked about it before, that we will provide some ways that they can get help with that process that you have to go through and get that written up so that they too can get merit pay. But I want them all to know that they are teachers of merit.
Can you get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Thank y'all.
This is a really